The Frank deal edges closer and the Spurs player narrowly misses out on more silverware. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Here's your daily Tottenham news headlines. Fabrizio Romano has stated that as regards Brian Mbeumo, he is waiting for Manchester United as a priority. Thomas Frank is close to Spurs, so we'll see what happens if he joins, but Mbeumo at the moment is waiting to see what happens with United. TalkSport are stating that Thomas Frank has now verbally agreed terms with Tottenham. Discussions are now ongoing about backroom staff. The deal is now subject to Frank's release clause being triggered. Frank has a hefty release clause in his current contract, believed to be in the region of £9 million. He also has a long-standing relationship with Spurs technical director Johan Lang. Frank has also informed Brentford that he wants to leave the club. Meanwhile, Fulham boss Marco Silva, publicly stating he will remain at the club next year, has further boosted Frank's position as favourite to take the reins at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs announced the departure of Postecoglou on Friday after significant reflection and a review of performances from the club. Pedro Porro's Spain lost out on a penalty shootout as Portugal took the UEFA Nations League title in Sunday's final in Munich. The defender was named amongst the substitutes and came on for extra time after it ended 2-2 in normal time. Cristiano Ronaldo with the equaliser for Portugal. The scoreline stayed 2-2, so the final went to spot kicks. Portugal converted their first four. Diogo Costa then saved from Alvaro Morata, leaving Ruben Neves to slot home the winner. Ben Davies, Brendan Johnson, Belgium versus Wales, and Destiny Udogie, Italy versus Moldova, returned to 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying action today, with the UEFA Under-21s and Under-19 championships starting this week. Okay, so here's my thoughts on those stories today. Brian Mbeumo would be a dream signing for me, but seems to be that he's got his heart set on Manchester United, which is a real shame. Would Thomas Frank coming in to Tottenham change his mind? I'm not so sure. If a player does really want to go to a certain club, then it's going to take a lot of persuasion to get him to come to Spurs. Even though he clearly has a lot of respect and loves working for Thomas Frank, I'm not sure about this one, but as I say, I'd love Mbeumo to come in. I think we do need to aim high this transfer window, and getting Mbeumo in, getting players like Eze in, that would really be seen as putting down a marker and making a statement, but I don't see this one happening, this Mbeumo deal. I think, if anywhere, he's going to go to Manchester United, but hey, let's hope I'm wrong. As we all know, I'm sure Thomas Frank been in discussions with Spurs now for a while. Seems to be that he wants the job, and it's all down to the release clause and what backroom staff he brings with him. £9 million, I've heard 10 million discussed elsewhere. That is a hefty release clause, that really is. But if Tottenham want their man, they're going to have to go and get him. So let's see how that plays out. But I hope we have clarity about this within the next few days. Obviously, transfer window shuts the first part anyway tomorrow. So it'd be good to get the manager in place for the second part of the transfer window when it reopens. The fact he's got a good relationship with Johan Lang, as far as we know, Lang is staying at Tottenham, so he'll be working with him. See what happens with Paratici as well. Will he be working alongside Lang, or will Lang ultimately be replaced? We'll have to see how that one goes. Fulham boss Marco Silva saying that he won't be taking the role at Tottenham if offered. Absolutely bolsters Frank's position. So it seems to be that Frank is the one that the club want. So let's see how that goes. But go down in the comments, let me know, how do you feel about Thomas Frank taking over at Spurs? Are you enthused? Do you think it'd be a good appointment? Or do you think it could be not so good? Let me know. And finally, Pedro Porro, Spain losing out to Portugal. I watched this game last night, really good game. Gutted for Pedro. He did have a shot almost from the halfway line that I thought was going to go in. If anybody watched it, you know what I'm talking about. He did play well when he came on, I thought. And losing on penalties is always a difficult pill to swallow, isn't it? But Portugal do it again. Ronaldo adds another trophy to his long list of trophies. My word, that guy has some serious silverware in the cabinet. But yeah, shame for Pedro Porro and for Spain. Well, I'm sure they'll win many more trophies with players like Lamel. My word, they've got a strong squad for years to come. I think Spain, a good young squad, so they're going to be tough opposition for England in any competition, and anybody else for that matter. But it shows that they're beatable. And Ben Davies, Brendan Johnson and Destiny Doggy all taking part in international action this week. Good to see our players playing for their country and hope they do well. That's it for today. That's all I've got to offer you today. Not much news around. I think a lot is hinging on the managerial appointment and where we go with that and what transfers we bring in. So hope you've enjoyed it. Get down in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling right now as a Spurs fan. Come on, you Spurs.